Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Everything is Tragic with Hilary Starr. I am your host, Hilary Starr. Welcome back everybody. So last week I didn't post an episode because I've just been going through it mentally, physically. My health has never been this bad before, so great way to start the year. I've just been going through it with my health. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I had a UTI. I had a MRSA flare-up, which if you don't know what MRSA is, it's a bacterial infection that manifests, trigger warning to anyone who's sensitive to stuff like this. It's giant boils that manifest on your body, anywhere on your body. And they're super painful. They barely go away. They're very resistant to antibiotics, so they're fighters. And they can get infected and kill you. But luckily, by the grace of God, they fully went away. And then right after that, I went to the emergency room 2 days ago because one of my cysts got, I don't even know what, got irritated and decided to send me into a full collapse. But we are here. We are ready to start this episode. I am on a health journey. I kind of want to do an episode of where I am with my health. I've actually lost weight. I went to go get a physical done maybe 2 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago, and I saw that I actually lost about 6 pounds, and I was like, okay, work. But I didn't really do anything different. Well, I did. I changed my eating habits to a completely different extreme. I completely gave up eating junk food, but I sometimes crave it from time to time, but I don't eat it as frequently. I've been switching to very organic shit. I'm drinking matcha latte. Is this a tea or a latte? I don't know, but I'm drinking matcha tea as we speak. I used to hate this shit, but now I'm like, oh yeah, I love having my matcha in the morning. I'm so superficial. But I'm someone that suffers with PCOS. So getting my period is nowhere to be found until November, because I was eating so much salad and fruits and stuff. I was eating a lot better. I was able to get my period without using any medication, and back then that's how I used to get my period. But I was able to get it in November, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start just eating healthier, because look at how I'm able to kind of regulate my hormones. And then now I'm experiencing symptoms of getting my period, but I haven't gotten my period yet. I've just been getting a lot of cyst pains, which are very brutal. Apparently they feel like contractions. More reasons to not have kids. But yeah, so that's about it with the update of my life. Make sure you're following me on social medias to stay updated on my very exciting life. I'm not gonna lie, I've lost a lot of love for posting on TikTok. I feel like a lot of creators feel that way too. I've been talking to a few friends of mine who are creators, and they're just like, it's just not the same anymore. The love for posting content on TikTok has just very violently diminished, and I feel like that kind of happened to me. But I'll still find ideas for videos, and I'll be like, sorry, let me just adjust the pillow for my dog. My dogs are so big that they barely fit on the couch if I have pillows on the couch, so I have to fix them when they lay down, because then they're halfway hanging off. But yeah, I don't know, TikTok just isn't the same for me how it used to be. I'm not feeling that excitement like how I used to feel, but I am trying to kind of get back on it. I'm changing my content up a lot. I started doing night routines. I started doing videos that I truly love watching myself on TikTok, but this time I'm doing them. So, with a little bit of, just consistency, I think I'll get better. So we're going to get into today's episode, but first, take a sip of your favorite drink, of your favorite beverage. This is my matcha green tea. So today we are going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about a few things. This is kind of a continuation of last episode with talking about influencer marketing and how things have changed throughout the years. And it's kind of a continuation because there have been some developments in the industry, in the beauty industry. If you know, you know. We're going to talk about it, and I have opinions about this. And we're also going to talk about how my shopping habits have changed and how shopping habits have changed for other people, like things that I've seen like on TikTok, on social media, and also this trend of de-influencing and how it's now becoming trendy to not buy everything that influencers recommend, or like the viral products on TikTok that appear every week. Because it's like people are noticing, like I just can't keep up with all this trendy bullshit. Like I just can't keep up with buying everything that gets recommended, everything that is overhyped. And it's like, you shouldn't be easily influenced to buy all this shit. So I'm so happy that I've been seeing the de-influenced trend going on, because it's a lifesaver. So here is my synopsis. It's a pretty broad idea of the episode. So I said, with the rise of social media and influencers, people find more reasons to spend money on things they don't need. So I kind of wanted to start with like why I wanted to make this episode and then kind of move on with like how I used to be when I used to go shopping and how I am now. And a lot of it has to do with pre and post pandemic. I feel like everybody's shopping habits have changed before and after the pandemic, especially after the pandemic, because shit hit the fan real quick and it made everybody realize like our lives could change in a blink of an eye, where everything gets shut down in front of us, like, and we're left with nothing but the essentials. And so I feel like that kind of sent everybody into like a state of panic almost. It sent me into a state of panic, definitely. And every time the sun goes away, I just look more and more pale. I feel like I'm blending into my walls. But the pandemic sent everybody into a spiral, into survival mode. And that's exactly what it did to me. Like I do still, okay, I'm not going to jump into, because I don't want to like move around too much, because if I really did this podcast without at least taking notes for specific topics, I wanted to make this episode because I have noticed a shift in how people shop nowadays. Before, with social media, like, and just overall, like, shopping used to be more of a careless thing. Like, yeah, we had the 2008 housing crisis where people became tight with their money, but we didn't have social media like that. We didn't have that influencer culture where people kind of show us what they buy and then it like subconsciously influences us to make these impulsive shopping decisions. Back then we had paid programming. When you woke up at 3 a.m, instead of George Lopez, it was QVC. It was a woman selling you like a back massage, and you have to call a number and order it. I know it's still a thing. Pretty sure it is, right? And so the way that companies advertise to us has completely changed, where before it was kind of easy to avoid because all you had to do was turn off the TV, and it was like a few banner ads on a few websites on the internet now, and billboards and movies. But now it's movies, television, it's more in your face. And now it's social media, where like you cannot scroll on Instagram without seeing at least 2 ads every other post, which is very exciting. So, my background, for those of you that don't know, I graduated with a bachelor's in marketing, and one of my favorite topics is consumer behavior and consumerism. So, consumerism is kind of like the study of people's shopping habits and the belief that it's like a theory that people believe that spending money is good for the economy, like that TikTok sound with Marge System, with Marge Simpson, with Marge System, where she was like, "It'll be good for the economy," It's I'm trying to not cut as much because it's frustrating, so I'm just going to keep rolling with it. Understand this is why I do a lot of cuts, because I tend to stumble over my words, and sometimes I just can't keep recording. I just have to stop and, collect myself. But, so with me graduating and me loving marketing and advertising so much, I found such a love for looking at consumerism and what makes people want to buy something. What is it about the Stanley Cups on TikTok that just make people go bonkers? It's a thermos. There are millions of thermoses out there for sale. Realistically, like thousands. But there are so many thermoses out there for sale. What makes the Stanley thermos so goddamn special? And a lot of things have to do with the appeal of how it's advertised to us, how it's marketed to us, and how, the product and the brand and how they present themselves. And a lot of people also have turned to the ethical side of brands. Like now people don't even just look at the products, they look at the brand. A lot of people don't, a lot of people used to be pretty oblivious to a lot of things when it came to food, housewares, cookware, skincare, makeup, technology. Before, people would just buy things like and not even think about it. But now people not only buy things, but they look into the company. They look into what toxic chemicals are they putting into this shit now. And that's something that I've been seeing so much in today's world with, TikTok especially. Like TikTok is like, besides Twitter, it's like such fast-paced news where you see everything that's happening that wouldn't really be shown in mainstream news, which is why the government wants to get rid of TikTok, because they just want to get rid of the truth. I said what I said. So with that being said, back then we didn't have that big source of advertising. It was like the mainstream stuff, like the billboards, commercials, even music videos, movies. Now with the rise of social media and including TikTok, we have seen like an acceleration of trends. Do you guys remember, like, especially if you were in the beauty community, do you guys remember when makeup would trend for weeks on end? Like, I'm talking like the Anastasia Beverly Hills glow kits. Those glow kits would trend for months, okay? People were talking about it for months. Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop, that would trend for so long, and Instagram was a thing. This was the rise of beauty influencers. So the shit was all over the place. But with the rise of TikTok, I feel like there's been kind of an acceleration of trends. Like things are no longer trending for 3 or 4 weeks or even like a month or two. They're now trending for a week, if anything, 2 weeks at max. And I feel like people with the de-influencing trend, I feel like people are kind of waking up to the idea of, at the end of the day, like this is all just marketing. This is all just influencing you to buy stuff. And it's like, I would rather spend my money on something that I know I enjoy and not have to buy many different versions of it. So a lot of de-influencing videos that I've been seeing have been makeup and skincare, because it's like products where like you can have a variety of a lot of it. You know, you can have a lot of different foundations. You can have a lot of different face cleansers and toners. But people have also found a way to have a lot of different versions of the Starbucks cups. Have you guys seen these videos of the Starbucks cups collections? It is insane. Those, and also like collections of handbags and stuff. So I feel like all of that falls under the umbrella of overconsumption and consumerism. And it's like, why do we behave like that? What is it about a brand? What is it about a product that drives us to that, that violent feeling of, I must have it because it appeals to me so much, even though you don't need it, and you don't need it. And I'm speaking from personal experience. There's a lot of times where my old self will emerge and I'm like, I don't need this, but this is so fucking cute. Like, it fits my aesthetic. Like, I know I want it, but I know I don't need it. So, why do we spend so much money on shit that we don't need? And a lot of it has to do with the fact that for a lot of us, shopping is a form of therapy. Like, I don't know about you guys, but especially when I shop online and I place an order on something and I get that email notification that it's shipped, it sends a bunch of endorphins and pleasing nerves down my body. And then especially when I get that notification that it delivered and I get the box and I open it and it's in the perfect packaging and I open that new Skims underwear that I ordered and I just can't wait to try it on, there's a feeling, there's like a rush of dopamine that like just overcomes you when you order something online. So there's a psychology behind it, and a lot of it could stem from depression. Like, if you are someone that's depressed, some people turn to shopping. Some people call it therapeutic because it's something that just like brings them joy, like buying new things, the excitement of wearing that new sweater or trying out that new body wash. Like, I feel it every time I go shopping and I find something new and I want to try it. Like, it's something that still gets me excited. So yeah, I see shopping as a form of therapy too. Some people also, there's also the spectrum of, some people just have a lack of control. Some people cannot control their impulses when they see something new, where whenever an influencer recommends something, they have to have it no matter what. And it's like, they always give the excuse of, I could just return it if I don't like it. But it's like, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. We should be only buying things that we need. But, in this world, in this economy, in this state that we're in this country and in this world, we need something to help us just feel good. And sometimes it's okay to buy ourselves that fucking duvet cover that just feels like a pillow, And sometimes it's okay to spend a little bit of money on that pillow that is really gonna make us feel like we're sleeping on a goddamn cloud. So, in my point of view, I don't see shopping for things that you don't need as an issue. It becomes an issue when you're in so much debt, but you cannot seem to stop yourself from shopping so much. And I feel like also companies have found a way to make our lives so much easier when it comes to shopping. They have found ways to make shopping so simple for us that it incentivizes us even more to shop more. Amazon Prime Day, not even just Prime Day, but Amazon Prime. I have Amazon Prime. There's nothing, and this country especially, it's become a country of just pure convenience, pure instant gratification. Like, we have become a society of like, it's become toxic at this point where we need to have something immediately. Like, we can't wait for it. Like, and unfortunately, I've become affected by it too, because sometimes I'll order something from Amazon and it says it's 1-day delivery and that shit gets delayed. Bitch, I'm gonna go down to the nearest Amazon warehouse and I'm gonna start breaking shit because how dare you. But it's something that, we have gotten so used to. It's like we've been coddled. We've been coddled by these big corporations to like make us feel so like instantly gratified with the prime the 1-day deliveries. Target recently introduced the drive up services, and Walmart and all these other like big box stores where like the workers do the shopping for you, and you just pull up. There's a designated parking spot right next to the handicap, so you're right in front of the store. They bring out whatever you wanted to get, and that's it. What else? Services like Instacart. I was using Instacart so much during the lockdown, and then I became addicted to it. I couldn't stop using it. And but what that did to me essentially was make me a hermit. Like, I would not leave my house, because you quite literally don't have to leave your house for anything. Even doctor's appointments, it's all virtual. You can do virtual therapy, you can do a virtual doctor's appointment. So there has been a rise in convenience, in ease of shopping, of acquiring something that you want, because you can quite literally order anything and have it at the tip of your fingers, always. Oh, I also forgot. Klarna, Afterpay, PayPal, Pay in 4. Like, I cannot begin to tell you how addicted I am to using Klarna. The moment I see that a website uses Klarna, I'm like, they fucking care about the people like me. The people like me that don't have the money, but it feels like you're saving money when you're paying every 2 to 4 weeks. Like, there's some form of savings there. You can't tell me there isn't, And it's so funny, because like, you do it in the moment and you're not thinking about it, but then the moment that 4 weeks go by and that last payment comes through, you're just like, come on, man. It's been 4 weeks. You're still gonna fucking demand money like that? It's been 4 weeks. Get over it. But I love Klarna. It's one of the best things to happen. 0 interest. Like, people were saying how bad sites like Klarna is and Afterpay. They're like, it's like having a credit card. Like, don't depend on that. I'm like, bitch, Klarna doesn't have interest, okay? And I'm just splitting up payments pretty much. And the key to not, going into a hole with Klarna is really not using it so much, and also not using the other services too much, because I've done that before, where I've used Klarna, Afterpay, PayPal, and 4 about twice each time. So every week I was getting money taken out. And I don't know about you, but whenever I shop and I know I'm going to use one of those services, I don't spend more than a certain amount. I'll spend maybe like $200 max, because I know it's going to be around $50 to $60 around like every other week. So I know I have to prepare myself for stuff like that. And I love seeing the TikToks of people like talking about it, but the comments are like, and I'm still use it. And it's like, yeah, because it's so convenient. It's so easy. So, companies have definitely made it so easy for us to obtain anything that we want, because we have had so many things come up in the past few years, in the past 3 years, that have made shopping so much more fun and so much more accessible to people that could barely afford groceries right now. Okay, can we talk about the elephant in the room? What the fuck is up with the groceries? Okay, like, I know for me at least, but it's like, I shop at Whole Foods because I'm willing to spend a little more, because I'm trying to eat better and I'm trying to eat more organically. And unfortunately, it's more expensive to eat organically. But bitch, even at like Target and Walmart, I've just noticed like things being so expensive and the stores becoming emptier. Can we talk about that too? Because stores have become more empty. I have gone to Whole Foods so many times, and there have been sections that have been empty for weeks, even months. And even Targets, like the Target that I usually go to is always fully stocked. Now there's like certain sections that have been empty for weeks, and I'm like, what is going on? And obviously there's something happening, but you won't hear it in mainstream media. I feel like the people that have better insights are people that like work in like the shipment departments of these big brands. I feel like they would know what's happening. So if anybody out there works in like the shipment departments of like Targets, Walmarts, Whole Foods, all these brands, what the fuck is happening? And then the egg shortage. But you know, a lot of people say that inflation is due to like environmental factors, like things happening, and that could be true. Of course they blame the president, but like the president almost barely has anything to do with inflation. But a lot of the reason for inflation are these companies, these fucking big box stores. They do us dirty, guys. They do us really dirty. Like, you know, Target, they see that there's an increase in demand for things such as toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning products, and they will up the price and, you know, blame it on inflation. Like, shit, what can we do about it, you know? And it's like, we know it's all bullshit. Like, not everybody is that blind to these tactics that these companies use. And it's really frustrating because it's like, how am I supposed to save money in this climate? There's a hike in rents. I feel like not enough people are talking about it. And I'm surprised that this country hasn't gone into a full-blown war. Like, we have not gone into a full-blown like rebellion. Like, we haven't rebelled against the government. And I feel like when that happens, there will be change. But you know, at the same time, not everybody could afford to just go out and protest. Some people have to work a lot, and you know, unfortunately, a lot of people are just too comfortable to do anything about it. But it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. So now I'm gonna go into how my shopping habits have changed pre-COVID and after COVID. So, you know, before COVID, and I'm talking like not including when I lived with my parents. That's like a completely different experience. This is me when I first moved out. I cannot begin to tell you how much money I dropped. I mean, there's a lot of factors, you know, first time homeowner, had to get new things. You know, I was young and stupid. But at the same time, I feel like there was still no reason for me to spend that much money. Because there was also the freedom. So we have had the freedom of, like, I had the freedom of spending as much money as I wanted to on anything. So when I first moved out, bitch, I was trying to assess what kind of style do I want to incorporate in my house. When I first moved out, it was early 1920s, like Victorian. I wanted to paint my walls like vomit green. I wanted like nothing but 1920s antiques. Like, I had my mind set on that aesthetic. Like, I loved it. I still do, but not for my house, because when I started decorating with stuff that was relatively of that time, it looked very old. It looked very antiquated, and not in a nice way, not in a nice modern way. I used to just buy anything I put my hands on, and I would hit myself with I'll just return it if I don't like it. But I'm not a big returner because I hate returning stuff. I hate the process of going back to a store to return things. So I never did that. And then if anything, I would give the stuff to my mom, or I would throw it out as like a careless motherfucker. So the pandemic came along. I was by myself. Andrew was deployed in the Middle East because he was in the army. And that, like I mentioned before towards the beginning, that immediately sent me into survival mode. I barely had the basic necessities like extra toilet paper, extra paper towels, because I'm one of those people that I don't really shop in bulk, which is why like I kind of want to shop at Costco, but at the same time I don't, because I don't like to have too much stuff of anything, because I like to live my life pretty clutter-free. But you know, for me, that doesn't resonate with like makeup and stuff. I can have so much makeup and not give a fuck. But I've changed since then. But yeah, like when it came to necessities, like I did not want to have too much of that stuff. So I was like, what the fuck? So I started bulking on my necessities, like canned food, paper towels, toilet paper, disinfectant products, detergent, and my dog's food. also, ever since I became a dog mom, I changed my priorities to in actually investing. There's a really cute bird on the tree, and I wish I had food to give. Oh my god, I need to buy bird food. There's there's a yeah, when I first got my dogs, I immediately turned into a dog mom, okay? Where like I did heavy research on food and nutrition and, what can I give them with their food, like, blueberries and all this carrots and things that I can mix, and then looking at high quality foods for them, and the body washes and the body washes, the shampoos and stuff. So that was an added expense to moving out with Andrew, and I have two giant bears. One of them is on the couch behind me, but that kind of changed my priorities. I was like, okay, I have two children, so I need to really be good with my money. And then we started running out of money. Like before Andrew got deployed, before the pandemic, we were like really poor. Like we were poor, and it was very terrifying. I was like, damn, like we're not even a few months in and we're already so broke. And then he got deployed, and he was making good money while being deployed, and that kind of helped a little bit. But that changed my shopping habits. I kind of had a moment where I was like, I spent so much stupid money on things I didn't need before the pandemic, and now that this is happening, I can't shop like how I used to after this. So once the pandemic sort of quote unquote ended, like, and I mean like when things opened up, I started looking at prices. I started comparing prices in stores. I'm like, oh, milk is cheaper at this store compared to that store. And, I'd rather get frozen vegetables at Whole Foods because it's cheaper, the bag is bigger, compared to Trader Joe's where it's a small bag and it's a little more expensive. I started prioritizing minimalism, which is something that I used to love looking into like 5-6 years ago. And then I started applying that to my current lifestyle, where I don't like having a lot of stuff. I'm not really a maximalist, but there are certain areas where I'm like a maximalist. Like I like having a variety of clothes. I like having a variety of skincare, makeup, but not too much. I don't like going over the edge with that shit. But so then, my aesthetic changed, where now I finally figured out how I like my home, like the style, because I was also going through a phase where I was like, I like everything to be made out of wicker. I want all of my furniture to be wicker and rattan and light beige. It was like almost rustic. I hate rustic decor. I'm sorry if you like rustic. I'm not hating on you. It's just, I just hate how it looks so much. And I didn't realize how much I hated it until I started incorporating it into my house, and I was like, fuck this shit. So then I started like resonating more with like 80s and pastels. And then, at one point my house was only beige. I only had beige things, and then it looked really sad. So then I started incorporating more colors like pinks and blues, but it was, pastels. And then I was like, I kind of like this. Like, what era does this resonate with? The 80s, 90s, even maybe early 2000s. And I just started going ham with that. So now this is like the longest I've gone with like loving an aesthetic, which is like my 80s postmodern aesthetic, with a hint of modern touches. But I started really, and I also started figuring out the type of person I was. I started thrifting more. I have become a little more confident in my body. I used to really hate my body, so I was always finding new styles. I was spending a lot of money on new clothes, new money on shoes, and spending money on new shoes and stuff. And then I was like, okay, that's not really my style. My style is 80s, 90s, early 2000s, like classic pieces, like nothing really crazy. So that led me to begin thrifting and being a little more sustainable with like the clothes that I buy. I don't shop as frequently. I used to shop a lot at Shein, and now I don't. So my shopping habits have really changed, and I used to order a lot on Amazon, but I don't order as much. But recently I've been finding a lot of cute shit on Amazon, so I've kind of been adding a lot of stuff to my lists, like my wish list. And but that's the thing, like I add it to the wish list, I let it sit there for a little bit, and then I visit it again. And then I really think about, like, do I actually want this? Like, not even do I need it? Obviously we don't need it, but do I want it? Do I actually see myself using this? And I ask myself that even when I go to Target, Whole Foods, even and like all these, even Home Goods. Like, I'll go to stores, and before I used to spend $500-$600 on stuff. Now at Home Goods, I never spend more than maybe $250, maybe $300. And like, that's like, if I find something nice, like a rug or like a big item, obviously it's gonna cost more, but I just don't shop like how I used to. I don't go crazy like how I used to. And I think a lot of it has to do with the pandemic and how I went into survival mode, and now it's like I need to make sure that I have money saved up. A lot of it also has to do with, my job as a content creator. I don't get paid weekly. I get paid monthly, if anything, bi-monthly. Sometimes there goes a whole month where I don't get paid. So whatever I made from that previous campaign, that money's gotta last for a while. And, I'm fortunate enough that whatever I make from a sponsorship, it can last a while, but sometimes not long enough, because, I still want to go out. I want to enjoy my life. I want to do things. And sometimes it becomes too much, and then I run out of money, and then that's where I enter like my panic mode. So I think that has a lot to do also with the change in my shopping habits. And so that kind of leads me into the next thing, which is the era of de-influencing. And I noticed this all like now in 2023. Like I've seen a few videos last year here and there, but this year I've been seeing the de-influencing videos left and right. And like I said before, it's predominantly in the skincare and makeup community, because that's something, like, besides like handbags, and people collect shoes, and they're sneakerheads and like the Starbucks cup girlies, but I feel like makeup and skincare was a beast of its own. Like, it built a whole community out of it, where brand trips came out of, influencers came out of. I don't think you really see like Starbucks cup influencers making YouTube videos and getting millions and millions of views, and they're doing brand trips. Like, Starbucks is taking them on brand trips. Like, makeup and skincare, they have completely changed the game when it comes to consumerism and taking advantage of, seeing that people wanted to buy their products. And just kind of going back to my point of why people buy things and why people shop for things, I think brands have also perfected aesthetics. Do you guys remember when millennial pink was very trendy? Like when Glossier first came out, and like when Glossier first became like really popular, brands know how to market to their demographics. So, me personally, something that will get me to buy a product that like I know I don't need, but I want it so bad, is if the color is a color that I like, if the logo looks very simple and clean, and if the product is like a very interesting shape. I love products that are like interesting shapes, or if they're curved, not super boxy. Like, those are things that, like, next time you go shopping, like if you go to Target or something, think about something that you tend to buy, and then think about something that you tend to buy, but you just found something else that you want to try more because aesthetically it just looks nicer. Like, do you find yourself shopping for something new because you just want to find that nice, aesthetically pleasing bottle of shampoo that just looks so beautiful? Like, sometimes I will, like, there is a certain scent of body wash that I like, but I will pick the pink one because it looks nicer in my shower caddy compared to the gray one. And I'm talking about the Method body washes. Like the gray one, I think, is for hydration. One of those is for hydration, but I never buy it because I don't like the color. And I only buy, I used to buy, I don't use Method anymore. I only use Frenchie, which is Ashley Tisdale's brand. It's one of the best body washes I've ever used. But I used to buy the pink and the blue Method body washes because it looked aesthetically pleasing in my shower caddy. The honey pot, the vaginal wash, I only used to buy the blue one because I liked how it looked. The color blue, I liked how it looked on my shower caddy. Now I buy the orange one and I don't like the color, but I buy it because I like the scent. But I'm able to not look too much into that. So that's where my question kind of comes in. Like, are you like that also, where you see a product and you will force yourself to get it because it just fits your aesthetic so well? Let me know. So with the trend of de-influencing, I feel like a lot of people have woken up to the fact that, hey, these influencers are going to keep pushing products down our throats. And, I can choose to buy it, but at the same time, I don't have to buy it. And I don't think I want to buy it. And so I feel like a lot of us have woken up to the beast that is consumerism, and we're more conscious about what we buy. We look more at the brands. We look more at the ethics of a brand and the ethics of the ingredients and, what am I actually buying? Who am I buying? I could tell you right now that if Kim Kardashian came out with a skincare brand back in 2015, more people would have been on it. I feel like now, because in 2023, not only have there been so many celebrity skincare brands and so many skincare brands, period, but I feel like people have become less and less influenced by celebrities. I feel like celebrities have lost their grasp and their chokehold that they had on, everyday people. There are still people that are obsessed with celebrities and will still buy things that their favorite celebrities come out with because that's always going to be there. But I feel like that grasp that they had on almost the entire population, it's definitely loosened in the past few years. Because people are waking up to all the bullshit that's going on, and we're all realizing like capitalism is just, it's such a toxic thing. We're like, yeah, we have to keep buying stuff to keep the economy flowing smoothly, but at the same time these companies are hiking up prices specifically to line up their pockets and put us into more debt. Everybody says the middle class is the new lower class, and it's so true. Like, people can barely keep their heads above water right now, and things are expected to get worse financially. So I feel like people are really thinking about, like, do I really need to buy that cleanser? And so I feel like with the trend of de-influencing, I feel like that's going to keep coming around. And, going back to, what people were so like influenced to buy. You guys remember hydro flasks when everybody and their mother had a hydro flask? Then there was the UGG platform boots, the Ordinary period blood face masks. Everybody was buying those face masks. And the thing with buying skincare and buying certain things is that not everything is going to work for you. You see an influencer with poreless skin and you see that they put on that foundation and it looks absolutely flawless on them. Don't think that it's going to look like that on you. And I have had to learn that the hard way because, I see like an influencer with like clear glass skin put on a foundation, and then I buy it and then I put it on myself and I'm like, why does it not look like how it looks like on her? But it's because she has different skin than I do. She has more plump and less textured skin than me. So obviously it's going to look different. And I feel like that's where people kind of also woke up in that sense, where like they're not as influenced anymore because it's like, that's going to work for you, but I don't think that's going to work for me. And I feel like people also, with the rise of TikTok, are so quick to look up reviews on a product. Like if a product is trendy, they're going to go on TikTok and look up the Ordinary period blood mask reviews. And, everybody was buying it but a lot of people were having bad reactions to it. But why was that? Because it wasn't made for their skin. And I never bought it. I borrowed it from my sister and I didn't really like it, so I never used it. Shein hauls. Do you guys remember when people were buying thousands of dollars worth of Shein and they would come in giant boxes and they would like empty them out on the floor and they would just start unpacking everything that they got? Like, all of that overconsumption it was hard to watch, even like before the de-influencing era came. Like, it was hard for me to sit there and watch them spend all that money on all that stuff, knowing that they're not even going to wear half of the shit for a long period of time, because Shein isn't the most sustainable. Like, the clothes aren't the best of quality. Like, everything that I've bought from Shein, I've given either to my sister or to my mom to send to the Dominican Republic. What else? Oh, yeah, the Starbucks cups. But also, I've been seeing the Stanley cups. I've been seeing videos of girls with 10 or 15 of these Stanley cups. These cups are like $50-$60. Y'all are buying 10 to 15 cups? For what? You don't need 15 Stanley cups. You don't need 15 tumblers. You don't need 15 thermoses. For what? It's just, oh my God, it blows my mind. And like, the fact that we're kind of desensitized to that, where we see that and we're like, why would you do that? And then you kind of keep scrolling. But it's like, that's a big problem. Like, that's not normal behavior. Like, to feel the need to buy so much of something that is so, like, you really don't need several thermoses. It's different if it's handbags. It's different if it's makeup, skincare, hair products. But a thermos, it's almost like mugs too. Like, you don't need that many mugs. But me, I have maybe, like, I went through like a mug phase, but I was able to stop myself after, how many mugs do I have? I have like around 7. And I was like, all right, enough, because I'm not going to fill this cabinet with nothing but mugs. Like, it's stupid. I don't even use all of them. So, we have really lost our shit. And these Amazon hauls also, with more Amazon influencers coming about and doing these Amazon hauls, it's become very popular to, buy a lot of shit on Amazon. Not gonna lie though, there's a lot of cute shit on Amazon. If you really look hard enough, there's a lot of cute shit. And that's the thing, like, there's nothing wrong with buying things on Amazon. There's nothing wrong with shopping. It's the overconsumption, the massive hauls of things that you probably did not even think twice about buying because you don't need it. So also, like, I've been seeing, with the de-influencing, I've been seeing the products not worth the hype videos where people are like, hey, remember this foundation that was super trendy last year? Let me tell you why it sucks. And then everybody in the comments are like, oh my God, I'm so happy you talked about it. But yeah, I'm happy to see that that's happening. And I feel like TikTok played a huge role in the overconsumption and that kind of escalation of overconsumption and overspending money on things we don't need. Because again, you're scrolling and a lot of these haul videos and these, just got this Amazon thing, and it's like, it's very subtle, but it leaves a huge impact on people. And then they add it to their favorites, and then they're like, okay, like, I want to look into this, and then they end up buying it. So TikTok has definitely left a huge imprint on us when it comes to how much we shop. So I feel like it also made us overwhelmed, and it made us go like, all right, enough is enough. Enough with this. Like, I'm gonna buy this, it's gonna go out of style a week from now. Like, what is the point? And I'm happy that people are waking up to this shit, because it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna move on to my final section of this episode, which is the Mikayla drama. And as of now, she has not responded to the drama, but she did upload a Valentine's Day makeup tutorial, which, again, I have my opinions on. So we're gonna get right into it. Let me just take a little sippy sip of my matcha and we'll get right into the tea. For those of you that are not aware, Mikayla Noguera. I think that's how you say her last name. She is a TikTok influencer that blew up in the beauty space, which was hard to do on TikTok because TikTok is a very organic, raw, real. It's a very different type of content. And for beauty influencers to break through that space, it wasn't the easiest to do. Like a lot of beauty creators that, were very popular on Instagram and YouTube had a hard time kind of transitioning into TikTok and kind of building that same community on TikTok. But Mikayla was someone that was able to kind of break that barrier and kind of start the beauty community up again on TikTok. She's one of the biggest ones. So she has always prided herself on being very transparent, very open about a lot of things, about her depression, about her weight, about, her life, which, a lot of people loved that about her, which is why I think she blew up. And she was always very honest about products, and she always promoted a lot of indie brands, a lot of indie makeup brands. With fame and, clout, things change. You start to make a little bit of money. You sometimes tend to go a little overboard. You tend to lose yourself for a little bit there. But that's where you have to catch yourself and stop yourself from going off the deep end and turning into a dickhead, like a lot of these influencers have done. Because you have to remember, you can lose all that clout within seconds, okay? We've seen it happen with multiple creators. You're not that special, okay? I'm not that special. Like, I'm here now. I can lose my TikTok within seconds, and then what, So you have to always remember to stay humble and grounded and realize that you are not better than everyone else because of your follower count, because you have clout, because you bought a mansion with your TikTok and your, YouTube money. Like, you're still not the shit, okay? So Mikayla, had her previous issues where people have always speculated that she faked her accent and, that she was doing the whole complaining with the try being an influencer. Like, I don't understand why people hate her so much. People genuinely hate this girl. And I mean, I constantly, even before all this, I've been seeing videos of people going making fun of her looks, of her appearance. And it's if she was skinny, nobody would fucking say shit. But that's another story. There's a lot of fat phobia on social media, and people, oh my God, I wish I can go into Sam Smith and how so many people just hate on them like crazy. But that's a story for another episode. But so Mikayla had her controversies where, she said, try being an influencer for a day. First of all, the person responded to her and told her to get a real job. So she had the right to respond to it. Could she have worded it differently? Yeah, because it sounded like, the regular person would assume that she's speaking in a way of talking down to people that aren't content creators and try being me for a day. And I don't think that's how she meant it. I think it was it's not physically taxing. It's not physically draining. It's mentally draining. And it's a very stressful field because we're banking on your engagement. We're banking on the engagement that you guys give us and the clout that you give us. Because if you don't give us clout and engagement, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. So it's a lot of stress and just the need to continuously stay relevant. It gets really toxic, but it's not physically draining. It's not physically demanding, And I don't think she meant it in the way that she thinks that she's better than that. But people took that shit and ran with it, and made it a whole thing. And then people hating that, like, people hating on her accent, saying that she fakes it. And then she talks about how, you know, she used to be on radio and she used to change her accent because she was embarrassed of it. And people just go crazy, like looking at older videos of her, people claiming that she went to school with her and saying like she never spoke like that. And it's like, oh my God, can you focus on something better? Can you focus on yourself, on your own life, instead of like just trying to bully someone on social media? I don't understand like why people hate on someone so much. Like, I understand why people hate on people on the internet. I never understand why people go as far to like making compilations and going years back to look at videos, photos, tweets, to like make a compilation video and be like proof that she facetunes her videos and photos. It's like, oh, you must have a lot of time on your hands, you pathetic piece of shit. So fast forward to now. So to update you on what has been happening, Mikayla did a campaign with L'Oreal on the new mascara. Several other influencers also did a campaign. And she did a campaign for this new mascara that L'Oreal was releasing. And she, in the beginning, was like, oh my God, this feels like real lashes or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Boom. Last scene of the video, you can tell that she's wearing lashes because it's like 13 clumps of lashes. And then all of a sudden, in the end, she has like 35. And it's like fluttery on like the end. And it looks like there was no mascara applied to that fluttery addition of her eyelashes. And you just know that she was wearing falsies. Like, people went as far as like zooming in and, you know, taking screenshots and shit. What made it worse for her was the fact that people were saying like, you know, we see the falsies, and she was like, no, the mascara is just that good. Why would you say that? So people had opinions, girl, okay? And a lot of these opinions like make sense, but some of these opinions are like, okay, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, and I feel like it's because a lot of these people that make these opinions aren't in the creator space. So like, they don't know how contracts work or like FTC guidelines, because a lot of this shit would be like very illegal, you know? So some people say that L'Oreal asked Mikayla to put a false lash and not disclose that she had a false lashes in her video, which is very illegal. Some people say like, what's the big deal? Like, everybody does this. This is very common in like commercials and stuff. Yeah, that is true, but you will not catch a Maybelline mascara commercial lying about that. Like, legally, you probably can't see it because they put it in very tiny print, but in the corner it'll say that like the video was enhanced with, you know, so and so, and like false lashes were added to improve the look or something like that. Like, it will be disclosed. People also said that that she did it for clout. Like, she just did that like without L'Oreal knowing, and she just did it for clout. Listen, at the end of the day, we don't actually know what happened, okay? All we can do is theorize and kind of come up with our own conclusions, but we can't use that as like definite answers. And a lot of people are running with these theories and then like just shitting on Mikayla as if like their opinion is factual. It's like, y'all don't know shit, so shut the fuck up. Okay, so here's my take. Okay, here's my personal opinion. I'm not basing this as factual, okay? Unlike some of these people who are giving their opinion and they're making it seem like it's a fact. I personally think that she did it thinking that we wouldn't notice, or thinking that, you know, L'Oreal wouldn't notice. I also believe that I don't think that L'Oreal told her to do that, because if they did, she wouldn't have commented on that one person that told her that she's wearing false lashes and she said, no, the mascara is just that good. She would have told them that she was wearing false lashes. But because she said that kind of makes me believe like maybe she wasn't supposed to do that, but she did it anyways, and now she got caught. So this is where I start to kind of like think about it from like a legality standpoint. What she did was illegal. If she if it wasn't in the contract for her to put false lashes, she didn't disclose it. That goes against FTC guidelines, and there's hefty fines that are being put on influencers now if they don't disclose ads, because that was very popular, and hefty fines on creators that tend to do this shit, like not disclosing that they're doing paid promotions or doing false advertising. Second of all, this is false advertising, and that is huge, because it's like a lot of people are like, it's just mascara, like what's the big deal? Like, no, it's not just mascara. It's dishonest. It makes every other creator look bad, even me, who's not in the beauty space. But people already don't trust creators when they do paid partnerships. You think they're gonna trust us now after this bullshit? No, they're not, because she was someone that was known to be very honest and she was known as a very credible source in the beauty community. And now, she completely lost everybody's trust. She lost a lot of people's trust. She still has a good amount of people that still believe her, or like are on her side. But when you pride yourself on being very honest and transparent, and you do something like this, and not only you don't respond, you lie in the comments, but you also don't respond for days. Guys, it's been like, what, 5 days or more? And she just came out with a video. Like, when I took a little break not that long ago, and I went on her TikTok, and she uploaded a makeup look, like a Valentine's Day makeup look. And I'm just like, girl, what are you doing? This looks so bad. And I am not a PR person. I went to school for marketing. I don't know a lot about PR. But if there's one thing I do know, is that silence is not the best look on anyone when they go through controversy. Beauty creator, lifestyle creator, fashion creator, any creators, silence is not the best thing. It depends. If it's like legally you can't speak on it, but it's like, even me, if I was going through something like this, I would have to say at least, like, listen guys, I can't talk about it, but understand that you will have answers soon. Because some people say like, oh, she doesn't owe it to us to be honest. Yeah, she fucking does, because she's promoting a product that she falsely enhanced for the better of the ad, and she kind of lied to her followers, and this paints a bad photo for beauty creators. And then what this does is just starts a whole round of beauty brands not trusting influencers and backing up on doing beauty campaigns. And I feel like the beauty community is going to take a huge hit with this, because people are now going to look at creators whenever they do sponsorships with like a side eye. But I feel like it's different, because personally for me, I don't do a lot of beauty. I partner with Neutrogena, and I do sponsorships with them. But for the most part, I tend to do like food and drink and entertainment. I feel like there's more scrutiny and more like people look at creators more when they do a campaign for a skincare product, makeup product, hair product, or like a beauty tool. I feel like in the beauty community, there's more eyes on like, is this person telling the truth? Because like when it comes to when it comes to me doing a campaign for food, it's very different as if compared to someone doing a campaign for a mascara or a cleanser, because it's something that is supposed to enhance something on your face. The skincare is supposed to do something for your skin. The makeup is supposed to do something for your face, beautify your face. Like, if you add something false to it, it just really looks bad. Whereas if I am making a promotion for like a yogurt brand and you buy it and it tastes like shit, okay, it tastes like shit. But if she does this mascara trend, if she did this mascara campaign, people buy the mascara, they're like, it's just like any other mascara, it's stupid. They just spent $14 on a mascara that doesn't even work as well as she made it seem like it did. And what this did is, other people say, maybe L'Oreal wanted this, maybe L'Oreal is happy with this, because look at how much they've sold out their products. But at the same time, that's not good for either party. Don't think that like all clout is good clout. Like, this still doesn't look good, even if it came out that L'Oreal did tell her to put on a fake lash. Like, it's still very dishonest. And a lot of people are saying too, like Ulta employees, I saw a TikTok that a lot of people are actually returning the mascara. So it's not like it really benefited a lot of people. It's just, the video just got a lot of views. And people are saying that like Mikayla did it for clout. This girl was under already so much scrutiny, and people were already waiting for her to mess up again so they can make videos about it. And like, what pisses me off is that I've been seeing a rise in people making compilation videos about her body and about her face and being really fat phobic towards her. And I'm like, all because she lied about mascara, we have to go for her looks? We have to go after her looks? Like, y'all are on some different level of petty and just bullshit. Like, y'all have nothing better to do? Like, the things that I was seeing, like people like taking screenshots of her when she was like doing like a Maybelline video with Nikki Tutorials, and they're like, she looks different here, she looks different here. And it's like, nobody would say anything if it was a skinny creator. If it was a creator that is like naturally like skinny and like doesn't have anything wrong with them, like, it's, nobody would say shit. But because it's Mikayla, because she's a bigger girl, people always have to look at her and like scrutinize her and be like, look at you face tuning, look at you doing this. Like, people will come at creators for face tuning, but I feel like people attack creators who are bigger for face tuning more than if the creator was skinny. And there's something wrong with that. Like, y'all are fat phobic as fuck, and it's disgusting to see. It's really disgusting. But like I said, a lot of beauty creators have been responding to this, like Kathleen Lights, Jeffree Star, and James Charles, thinking that they're making a comeback with their fucking reviews, with their honest reviews. Like, listen, I used to love Jeffree Star. I used to love him. But everything that's come out about him in the past few years, people are like pushing it under the rug. Like, they're like, he's still very honest with his makeup reviews. It's like, okay, so you can excuse racist behaviors then. Fucking weirdo. But I think that this whole situation was exaggerated, but at the same time it was needed. I feel like beauty creators need to be held accountable when they lie like this, but at the same time we shouldn't stoop down to the level of straight up bullying them, especially for how they look, because that's just petty. It's unnecessary, and there's no need for y'all to do something like that. But that's pretty much my take on the whole situation. So that's pretty much gonna do it for me on this episode of Everything is Tragic with Hilary Starr. I have been your host, Hilary Starr. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Stay tuned for next week's video. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about. I think I might talk about, how I've been managing my anxiety, and also like maybe my health journey that I'm currently embarking on. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. But I will see you guys next week. Toodles.